Hello and welcome to Hooked on Sunshine. This is Flossy Mod, also known as Luann, and I just want to talk to you a little bit today about a meditation process. One of the things you'll find when you look through my information is that I got really discouraged when I was younger about certain things that some of the people in my religious tribe felt were not godly. Meditation was one of them. And as I got older, I realized that meditation is a really powerful tool. And regardless of the religion that you are, I hope that you'll find ways to really incorporate this into your life so that it brings about power and clarity, peacefulness, renewing just that inner being inside of you. So for those of you who aren't a part of my YouTube or Facebook tribe, you can go to one of those at Flossy Mod and really just look at just the basic picture that I put with this particular podcast. It's called Flossy Meditation. The first point is that meditation brings growth. Oftentimes when I am really faced with a struggle, and we're talking traumas, divorce, loss, grief, some kind of problem solving that I need to do, or something in my personal life that I really need to overcome, that meditation really allows me to personally make some growth and some strides without all the clatter of the outside world. Learning to breathe methodically. It's always been made fun of a little bit, but ultimately the breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then just making that something that is simple. And when I talk meditation, I have been on my face on the floor. I have been sunning my face with my sun towards the sunshine, really just soaking up every ounce of energy the sun can give me. I have sat cross-legged so that I will force myself to be quiet. I have laid in bed. I think there's so many opportunities to meditate in the way that works for you. Actually, a great way for me to meditate has always been to walk or to take a super hot bubble bath and to really use that time to hone in on what's going on in my inner self. Slow down your thoughts. This is the third point, and I will say it's probably one of the hardest points. Finding ways to really control your mind, to control the way that you think, to control all the scattered just deflections that come into your mind as you're trying to find clarity. And I truly believe that these are those spiritual attacks and those attacks on your self-worth and on your peacefulness, on wisdom, on things that really will bring you to a place where you can have the personal power that you desire. So slowing down those thoughts. And I'm going to take you through a series through my podcast. We're going to do 1-minute meditations. We'll do 3-minute meditations. We can do a meditation on a loop. We're going to do self-esteem meditations and some other things. But one of the things I want you to understand is that you learning how to control your thoughts, how to really sit, and when a thought comes in, be able to go, I'm not going there. Pull your mind back, pull your thoughts back, be focused on peacefulness and whatever problem is at hand. And sometimes that can just be healing. I do on a daily basis pretty much affirmations, reflections of the things that I know that I desire in my heart, and tons of problem solving. Release, fourth point, release trauma, anger, apathy, sadness, stress, and that list goes on and on and on. We all have heartbreaks from our years of living. Some of us worse heartbreaks than others. I can tell you that when I meditate, especially if I meditate and I'm thinking on other people and really putting good thoughts towards them, praying for them, sending energy and vibes and love and healing to them, oftentimes what I also get is whatever it is that they're feeling. And I mean, it can be heavy. I have people in my life that I only know through different speaking engagements, or they're my family or friends. Sometimes it's just a colleague that I only even know briefly. And sometimes I will feel such a heaviness in what might be going on in their life. And I don't always know what that is, but just know that this is that opportunity for you to release that trauma, the heartbreak, being betrayed, being broken, being hurt, being abandoned, having violence in your life, having biases in your life, having anger. Some of us have anger over an actual justified circumstance, and some of us just have an anger dwelling within us that you feel like it sometimes it holds on to you like something really, really powerful. And you have to find a way to let that go. You have to find a way to release that, to let it go, to bring healing and light and what I call sunshine into your life. Let that sunshine, as you're in that meditation, let it glow. Let it absolutely glow upon your inner man, your inner spirit. Let it clean out all the darkness, all the cobwebs, all the hurt, all the anger, all the pain, all the sadness. And then ultimately, something that we all deal with, releasing all the stress. You know, sometimes stress can be from working all day long. Sometimes it can be worried about business or bills or your family or your kiddos. You know, I had some rough years when I was raising my kids, and they went through some really intense, difficult things. And so sometimes I had to really learn to meditate to separate that out. I couldn't be 100% for my job, 100% at home with my family, 100% for anything if I carried that stress around like a big ball of, and like a ball and chain, you know, with me all the time. So finding that time to really release that stress is so valuable. Find a calm place. Start to practice when you go into a meditative state. Start to really practice what brings you inner peace. I love the sound of water. I love the feeling of water. I love the feeling of warmth. I love sand between my toes. I love a hug. And you know, I give these incredible hugs, and I love it when I find somebody who hugs like me, who wraps their arms around me, and I can feel all their love squeezing into my body, just them loving me regardless, no judgments, no reasons, just true, pure love. And I only have a handful of those people in my life. I adore them. So when I'm thinking of a calm place during my meditation, it is normally quiet, full of love, full of warmth. I can actually imagine the sun beaming onto my face. And I can sit there in that quiet. Next point, build yourself up. When you're in that meditation, you have plenty of opportunity through the days and through the weeks for people to break you down. You're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not smart enough, somebody else is better than you or prettier than you or stronger than you or more resilient than you. You know what I mean? Like the list goes on, and you hear it, and it's bombarded through social media and through family and sometimes through friends, and of course people who don't appreciate you, and they'll bombard you with all this negativity. Take this as your time to build yourself up. You are amazing. You are unique and powerful and spiritual and wonderful. Your heart believes wonderful things about other people and loves your family and loves your children. You're a brilliant business person. You're full of creativity. Your heart sings to the heavens and worships the God that created this earth. You're empathetic. You're thoughtful of other people. Your mind is clear. You have tons and tons of wisdom. People come to you to talk about the things that are on their heart because they know that you're going to give good, sound counsel. so many amazing and wonderful things about you. You're beautiful. You have integrity. You're healthy. You put yourself first. You really pour into yourself and want great things for yourself. That is really powerful and something that, as a culture in general, we've really come away from. We're so good at the degradation, telling yourself how you're not great, how you're not anything special. Stop doing that. Really be excited about who you are, who God has created you to be, who your friends appreciate, who your family adores and loves and needs. I can go on that one forever. Next point, dwell on what you are expecting. I often take this time during any kind of meditation to really dwell on what I expect and what I think I'm going to be able to accomplish, whether it be within those few minutes, maybe the few hours of that day, by the end of a work day, by the end of a personal day. Maybe it's a project that I'm working on. Maybe it's a problem that I need to solve. Sometimes I'm writing a book in my mind, or I'm coming up with a creative idea, or inventing an idea, or really dwelling on the entrepreneur side of me that just gets so excited and passionate about the different things that are really important in my life. But I dwell on what I'm expecting. I expect to finish those goals. I expect to financially be secure and to be full of abundance. I expect to have peacefulness. I expect for relationships to heal. I expect for love to be absorbed into my life in a way that I feel so just overwhelmed with how grateful I am for what I'm surrounded by. So dwell on what you are expecting. Dwell on what you are dreaming of. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a dreamer. And when my kids were little, we would have this invention book, and I have all these inventions written down. And my son, who was quite young at the time, he would come up with the best inventions. And of course, they would be out of this world, like robots and things that you could do in outer space and all these things that were like, I'm not like a mega smart person who's going to even know how to invent any of the things that he came up with. But it always thrilled my heart that he dreamed. And even now to this day, when he and I get together, we're flat dangerous because we can dream. We can dream about just these extraordinary things that we would love to have be a part of our life. And it's very exciting. And I love that part of our relationship. During your meditation, what are you dreaming about? What are you dreaming about for your home? What are you dreaming about for your family? What are you dreaming about for your children? And each child is very, very different. So make sure that you're dreaming separately for each and every one of them. What are you dreaming about for healing within you? What are you dreaming about as far as the goals and the excitement and the things that causes passion inside of you? Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's education. Maybe it's just reaching particular goals in general. Dwell on what you are dreaming of. The next thing is speak life back into your heart, mind, and soul. And I have to do this. I would say I meditate and do this almost every day. I speak life back into me. The areas that have been broken, beaten down, I speak life back into my heart. If I had a disagreement with my spouse, or with a sibling, or with one of my children, or with a colleague or coworker, or a client, somebody that I built a contract with, like there's been some kind of a break in anything, I'm speaking life back into my heart that might have been wounded during any of that time. I'm speaking life back into my mind. Back into my mind that as I'm getting older, I know I'm not retaining as well as I used to. I speak life back into my mind. I believe that it is going to be powerful and thoughtful, and it's going to retain all the information that it needs. It's going to be healthy and thorough, and clear. I speak life back into my soul. Oftentimes, as we've ebbed and flowed through life, a lot of times what happens is that our soul sometimes gets kind of frail, I think. And sometimes we pull away from those who build us up. We end up being very isolated or very alone. And sometimes our soul just really, really needs replenishing. It needs to be rebuilt. It needs to be reminded that there's a God in this universe that looks down on us and is thinking of us and loving us and breathing life back into us. Last on here is speak health into your body. I've got a lot of friends right now who are really facing some physically traumatic and disturbing and very scary areas of health. And one thing I don't do from a religious standpoint, I don't make any predictions about what will happen with people's health, especially when things are very, very serious. But I do speak health into your body, into my own body. I have had one ailment after another. I've had so many surgeries that I don't even want to go through them all with you. I've had, scares of cancer, all kinds of issues with my body that have not been able to be resolved. You go and you go get testing after testing after testing done. Nobody can figure out why you're in pain or what's happening with you. And so you just have this discouragement and this emotional, kind of disaster with it as well. And then the other part of that for me, of course, is I've been fighting weight almost my whole entire life. I will go into another podcast on weight and weight loss. But when I speak health into my body, it is not just, I don't have a cold or I don't have a knee issue or that my hip doesn't hurt or, and it is some of the basics. Sometimes it is specifically exactly what's going on with my body at the time. But sometimes it's just, I receive total, pure wellness and health. And just imagine it. You're in the middle of your meditation. You're into the part of speaking health into your body. I literally imagine every part of my body. And as I do, I can actually feel warmth. I can actually feel myself identifying with that part of my body. So for instance, I'm going to say, thank you for the health to my mind. My mind is clear. My mind is beautiful. My mind is creative. My mind is strong. I have intuition. My sight and my intuition are on point, and I know exactly what I'm seeing and what I'm doing, and I have wisdom in that. All of my senses are strong and clear and concise. I let go of all the knots and the stress that I hold in my neck and my shoulders. And I might rub my neck and roll my shoulders during that time to really identify that that's the part of my body that I'm really working on. I've got carpal tunnel in both hands, so I'm going to talk through the health of my limbs, that my body absorbs all the nutrients that it needs to, that all my nerves are working properly. And I'm going to talk through all of that, all the way down to my stomach. I'm going to talk about digestive issues and all the different other things that maybe I've fought with or that you fought with during that time. And I'm going to talk about absolute health and wellness to my belly, to my stomach, to my intestines. I can just feel that tingle. I can feel that warmth all the way down my body as I'm talking about it. Self-healing all the way through my body. Awareness of what my body is doing, of where I'm at. And of course, I'll go through my joints, my legs, my knees, my poor knees that have done like 7 knee surgeries. Of course, I always focus on those. Thank you, God, that they are strong. Thank you, body, that you take me from place to place, that you get me where I need to go. And maybe for those of you who, maybe you have limbs that aren't working like they're supposed to. Maybe you're in a wheelchair. Maybe there's some handicap that's going on. Find the things that you can be grateful for. There is something out there. There's something out there that you can say, you know what? This is not an area that for me I'm regaining my health in. So I'm going to really focus on my mind. I'm going to really focus on my arm strength. I'm going to really focus on the fact that I can still hug a grandbaby and be full of the sunshine that's in my life. And then, of course, I always move down to my feet. And with my feet, there's two things that I do for my feet. One, of course, is my health and wellness of my limbs, my ankles, my feet. But the other thing is that feet remind me of paths. So in my meditation, I'm always going to think about that the universe, that God, that my personal experiences, that the experiences of my tribe, that they lead me down the path that I am supposed to be on. Not anything for anyone else, but just for me. That I literally think about the path and the ways that are taking me to heights that I never ever even expected. It's exciting. It's wonderful. Within that, there's abundance. There's abundance in finances, in relationships, in health, in wellness, and spirituality, and all the things that bring so much joy to my life. When you learn to be quiet in that meditation, God will meet you in your quiet place. Renew yourself, my friends. Come back for more training. May you have an amazing day.